Just give me Misty. For every episode, please give me Misty. Please. Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole giving you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. And this is my review on Yellowjackets, Season 2, Episode 5, Two Truths and a Lie. So we start off with the first scene. We see Ty walking into Van's shop again, but this time it's in Van's point of view. We see that Van is struggling to pay bills like most Americans. And she has a VHS rental shop, which I love because it brings back memories. On Fridays, I would go to Blockbuster, honey. Yeah, Blockbuster to get my movies I wanted to see. So Ty walks in and says hey to Van, and then Ty passes out on the floor. Then we see Ty as a teenager waking up, and she says good morning to a grumpy Shauna who is tired of being preggers, of course. Van tells her to come outside, and Shauna looks at Ty like she's lost her mind because now she's a part of Lottie's cult. Ty plays it off as if, Van is making her do this. And since she's been doing Lottie's little cult prayers, that she hasn't been sleepwalking anymore. So I guess starting to listen to the trees and all the other stuff they do has helped her from sleepwalking. Okay, great. So next we see Callie with the old police officer, and she tries to kiss him. And of course, he's freaking out because he doesn't want to kiss a minor, of course. So he makes an excuse saying that, he wants to take it slow and turns her down. So she becomes an emotional teenager, of course, because she was turned down. And he goes to the bathroom. And while he's in the bathroom, the waiter comes over to give her the check. And while he's in the bathroom, Callie decides to look at the bill and sees that his name on there is totally different from the name he gave her. So she Googles the name and realizes he's a cop. Javi still isn't talking to the girls or talking to Travis, and they're trying to force him to talk. And Travis pretty much says, look, when he's ready to talk, he'll be ready to talk. Leave him alone. So the girl, I don't know her name, child. I don't think she's that important, but the girl who found the mouse is having her Michael Jackson Ben moment. The fact that she is getting so attached to this mouse, something's gonna happen to that mouse because she's getting too attached to it. They may eat the mouse for all we know. So they have to pick cards on which chores they will do. And Crystal chooses to take out the toilet. Okay, so the card that she picks, she has to take out the toilet. So Crystal and Misty are having this weird ass bonding moment, and she even says that she will help Crystal take out the bucket. Like, they are so much alike. It's scary, but at the same time, as we see later on, they're not that much alike. So Callie tells the cop that her dad's best friend, Randy, is the man that her mom is cheating with. He looks disappointed and drives off. Of course, Callie thinks that she's smarter than this man, so she's telling him something to kind of keep him away from, her mother. So next we see my favorite character, Misty. My favorite character is Misty as a teenager and as an adult. She is crazy as hell, but I enjoy her. So like if I ever met a Missy in life, I would enjoy her from a distance. I would enjoy her because she's funny as hell. She crazy but funny. So she is in the car with Walter, and the song from the Bee Gees, "Staying Alive," is on the radio, and she immediately turns it off. and it's like she's uncomfortable. And I was thinking that maybe because she doesn't like that kind of music and just only prefers musicals, because honey, the Bee Gees be rocking. I'm sorry, like I listen to the Bee Gees. But she turns it off, and next thing you know, they end up finding the cult location. So Ty and Van finally talk, and this is the adult Ty and Van. And Van figures out that Ty's sleepwalking is happening again. Ty tries to change the subject, and Van is like, hell no, we're going to talk about it. How bad is it? So Callie tells Psycho Shauna and Shady Jeff, her parents, that she told this guy that she was talking to that Shauna had an affair. And then she tells her parents that he's a cop. Jeff is pretty much saying, how old is this guy? Meanwhile, Callie tells them, don't freak out. She says she fixed it and said that Shauna was sleeping with Randy. Mind you, Randy is Jeff's best friend. Okay. They've known each other since high school. So Callie in her mind is like, I'd rather tell him that it was Randy versus, she had an affair with Adam, the guy that she killed. So with that being said, Jeff is freaking out, but Psycho Shauna thinks it's a good idea to get the cops off of them, to text the cop and tell him that Shauna is meeting Randy that night. Yeah. And then Callie looks excited as if she just got accepted into her parents' psychosocial club, and she does what she's told. Child, I'm telling you, like to have parents like that, especially Shauna. Whew. Okay. So Travis tries to talk to Javi, and Javi still doesn't want to talk, but interesting enough, he looks at Lottie as if, he's scared to speak around her. Travis then blames Natalie for Javi's condition because he has to blame somebody, and then Lottie chases after Travis. So next we see adult Lottie with her purple people eater cult doing their rituals, and Lottie tries to get Natalie to dig deeper. Dig deeper. I don't know what it is about these cults where they want you to, they whisper everything. They want you to dig deep. So pretty much, in my opinion, she wants Natalie to dig deep so she can be more in Lottie's control. Natalie finds out that Misty is there because while Natalie goes outside, one of the cult members says, hey, you got a visitor. And I'm like, since when do visitors come to cults? And they actually tell them that they have a visitor, but okay. So Natalie sees that Misty is there, and Misty tells her to pretty much F off and go home. And so Misty's shocked because she's like, I mean, you're here with Lottie, like in a psych ward in Switzerland, Lottie? Like, and Natalie's like, yes, go to hell home. I don't need you here. So with that, next we see Van reacting to what Ty told her about the dog. Which, by the way, I said this before. What happened to the second dog she got, Sammy? Because I mean, she's talking about the first dog, but remember, she got him a second dog, and then all of a sudden, that dog disappeared when she told her wife that Sammy came to the house. Where's the dog? Can we at least know that the dog is okay? Please? I mean, seriously. So Van tries to get in deeper with Ty, and Ty doesn't want to go there. Of course, she's avoiding it. Now, this is the scene of all scenes between Crystal and Misty, okay? So they are taking the bucket slash toilet out, and they have their one time at band camp moment. Anyone who knows that phrase, one time at band camp, knows I'm talking about American Pie. And it gets weirder and freakier as they continue to talk. So they're having their moments of going back and forth. And pretty much Misty says that she doesn't like deodorant, and she lied saying that she ran out because her funky ass don't want to wear it. And I was just like, okay, really? So I know you guys already stink because you don't really have a proper bath or shower there, and you're gonna really hurt them even more by not wearing deodorant. Okay. So then at that point, Crystal just takes it there and has a freaky tales moment about what happened in dress rehearsal at Bye Bye Birdie's dress rehearsal. I mean, she totally threw me off guard, like that band camp moment. And everybody remembers that band camp moment. This is part of pop culture when she kept talking about band camp, but then that one moment when she flipped, honey, it wasn't about band camp no more. That was Crystal's moment right there. Then we see Misty going back and forth. And then finally, Crystal tells Misty that her name is not Crystal, but it's actually Kristen. But she never corrected the team because someone gave her a nickname. And since she felt accepted, she just allowed them to call her Crystal. Now, y'all know I'm analytical as hell, right? And especially back in those days, because I'm not that far from the time when they were in high school. There was roll call, and teachers used to actually say your name out loud to see if you were present or not. No one figured out that Crystal wasn't her name. There's not one teacher, principal, counselor who ever said her legal name. But again, you guys know I'm analytical as hell. But anywho, with that being said, so of course, once she says that, and Misty hears that the reason why she never said anything is because she felt accepted, so she never corrected them. Misty decides to do another pinky promise swear and tells Crystal that she felt accepted when the plane crashed and people were saying how helpful she was. And because of that, because she wanted to still have that feeling of being accepted, because of that, she destroyed the emergency transmitter. Crystal's face changed like, hold up, bitch. She backed up a little bit and she was like, so you're the reason why we weren't rescued? Misty sees that Crystal is like, she went from band camp, the hummingbird, to I'm about to kick your ass. And so Misty's like, I'm just playing. I'm playing. Like, oh my gosh, you should see your face. And Crystal's like, bitch, you not that good of an actress, okay? You're full of shit. You're not my best friend anymore. You're a psycho. Child, I don't know why she called her a psycho. With that, Misty runs after Crystal and she's like, you can't tell anyone, Crystal. You can't tell anyone. And Crystal's like, well, what are you going to do? Poison me? Next thing you know, Misty's eyes get really wide, like that scene from Carrie. She ends up getting closer to Crystal, where Crystal is walking back, and she was like, no, if you tell someone, I'm gonna effing kill you. Next thing you know, Crystal falls off the cliff and dies. So now we know what happened to Crystal, huh? So adult Misty now is trying to understand how she missed knowing where Lottie was, because she says she kept track of everyone from the crash, all the survivors. And so she pretty much speaks about she's so delusional. She speaks about her friendship. Okay, friendship with Natalie, and she thinks that Lottie is jealous and maybe she wants, their friendship, and that kind of friendship you would kidnap people for. And then Walter says, or murder for it, or to kill someone for it. Well, that triggered Missy, because we now see what she did to her former quote unquote best friend, Crystal. Walter explains how he figured out that Misty lied about Adam's grieving mother, and how he discovered that Adam's mother had passed. And so he says that she possibly killed him for a friend, and says that, she says, you would actually think I would kill someone. And he's like, yeah, I mean, you're charming, you're impulsive, which are traits for most serial killers. Oh my gosh. The fact that he said that with a straight face, he's like, yeah, that's the traits of most serial killers. So I can definitely see you being a killer. And so with that, she gets out of the car and says whatever they have is over, and she tells him to drive off, and he does. That's not the last we're going to see of Walter, but this it definitely got interesting. So, Psycho Shauna meets with Randy, knowing the police is following her. She tells Randy to give himself a helping hand, if you know what I mean, so she can leave. So, next we see teenage Lottie talking to Shauna's stomach, telling the baby that he will change everything. My personal opinion, I think the spirits want that baby. Whatever in the woods, whatever Lottie spirit, whatever the case may be, they are trying to use that baby for something. I hope that's not the case, but at this point, anything goes in Yellow Jackets. So Ty tries to protect Lottie because Shauna's freaking out and she's like, Lottie's freaking out, like she's losing her mind. She's talking to my baby. And so Ty tries to protect Lottie, and Shauna at this point has had enough and goes outside because typically Ty is always the one to protect Shauna. So she has enough, she leaves. So we're back with adult Ty. She takes a shower and her nosy ass goes into the medicine cabinet and finds Oxy, and it says V Palmer on it. So she confronts Van about it, and Van says V is for Vicky, and pretty much Vicky is Van's mother who passed a few years back because I guess her mother had the C word. And so I guess she didn't clean out the medicine cabinet because I'm like, this is like some years back apparently that your mother passed. You really had that medicine still in your medicine cabinet. So that all automatically got my antennas up. And I'm like, is it really? Is it really your mother's medicine or is it yours? And you don't want to talk to Ty about it. So with that, Ty realizes though that this is another tactic for Ty to change the subject on why she's really there. And at that point, Ty finally breaks down about how she is terrified and doesn't want to ask for Van's help because she doesn't want to hurt any more people that she loves. Van tells her, she will help her and figure it out. Couldn't be me, honey. Couldn't be me. I mean, you have seen too much of what she does when she sleepwalks. You love her a little too much. At this point, I would tell her she needs to go to a doctor and she needs to go back home to her wife and deal with it there because I'll be damned. So, anywho, Randy is trying to give himself a helping hand, but he can't. He's trying, but he can't. So back with adult Natalie, she breaks into Lottie's office and tries to find things to expose Lottie. And she goes into the Purple People Eater cult session and starts screaming at the top of her lungs, exposing Lottie. And pretty much at this point, I mean, it's a cult. So even if she was telling the truth, all of the Purple People Eaters are like not listening to Natalie saying that they know all of this information. And so at that point, Lottie tries to convince Natalie that she is the crazy one. And she mentions Travis' name. And of course, Natalie breaks down. And Lottie tries to say she wants to know what Travis was going through as well. And Natalie says, you know what he was going through, Lottie, because you started it. And so Lottie claims she knows how to figure out pretty much how to figure out what Travis was talking about in that note. Because in the note, Travis said that Natalie was right. So she's like, I definitely can find a way that maybe we can figure out what he was talking about. I wouldn't trust her, Natalie, but anywho. Shauna is freaking out about having her baby, and she is actually telling Ty outside that Lottie is obsessed with her baby. When Ty is talking to her, suddenly Shauna gets a contraction, and the next thing you know, the wind starts going, and all of a sudden there's a winter storm that happens. And I'm telling y'all, that's another sign that the woods or the spirits want that baby. Because when she's having a contraction, it's almost like the contraction caused the chaos in the woods. Now, Misty is in the storm as well. This is teenage Misty. She's in this storm as well. And she is going down to check on Crystal/Kristen to see if she's still alive. And this is the funniest part ever. And every scene that has me laughing out loud, Misty is a part of it, which is why I said I need Misty all the time in every episode. She goes to Crystal and then she starts to give Crystal CPR. And while she is pumping her chest, Misty goes, ah, 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 staying alive, staying alive. Oh my gosh. I laughed my ass off so loud when she was doing that. Which is why she turned off Staying Alive by the Bee Gees when she was in the car with Walter, because she remembered she was doing that when she was trying to check and see if Crystal was still alive. Whew. But back to reality, Misty is another one like Lottie who can't help people around her or they end up getting hurt. Like she's almost kind of like Lottie as well. She's just more entertaining to watch because that scene was hilarious as hell. Just like with the parrot scene that she had with that lady that she had trapped in her basement. Misty is definitely the highlight of this show. I'm sorry. She gives the laughter in these dark horror times on Yellowjackets. So the cops check the room and find the protection glove, again, if you know what I mean. And the cop realizes that dumbass Randy, he couldn't, get his own love gel going. So this dumbass puts lotion in it. And so at that point, while one was convinced that she was having an affair with Randy, the other one is like, nope, this is strawberry lotion, which means that she just wanted us to think that she was screwing Randy, but in reality, she was screwing Adam. So then the other cop was like, well, then that just means that Callie played you. That means you've been made because she was out of this. So he does this little thing like, well, she may think, she's smart, but I'm smarter. So we'll see how this goes. So Coach picks up a picture that Javi drew, and Javi decides to speak to the coach and tells the coach his friend told him not to come back. And the coach is like, what friend are you talking about, Javi? But Javi just walks away. Missy comes back to the cabin, and this time she does actually have a great acting performance because she pretends like she lost Crystal. Then immediately, instead of worried about Crystal, she's like, screw Crystal, Ty and Shauna are out there. And so during the storm, while they're screaming out loud, trying to find Shauna and Ty, and of course, Misty is pretending like she's trying to find Crystal, but we know how that is. They start their breathing session in this storm like they had earlier that morning. So both Ty and Lottie and Van and the rest of them have the breathing session. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. So the breathing session and smelling the trees or smelling the peace or whatever the hell they was talking about is going to make sure that they find their ways back to the cabin. Great. Still weird as hell, but great. So Van wakes up and sees that Ty is asleep. So she goes in the trash and gets that oxy that we now know was for her. I knew that oxy wasn't for her mother. Like, you're not going to keep medicine in there that's been in there for 2 years. Like, the medicine is there's an expiration date. Like, what the hell? So at that moment, Ty turns Van around and immediately kisses her. And at that moment, Van instantly can tell from Ty's eyes that it's her inner demon. She's sleepwalking. And Van says, what do you want? And the demon says, this isn't where we are supposed to be, and walks away. Next, we see Lottie and Natalie as adults, and they are literally having some type of visual session where Lottie's pretty much telling Natalie to go deep inside on remembering the last time she was with Travis. So we see the last time she was with Travis, they were both high as hell, high as a kite, and we see Natalie actually ODs. And while she's in her OD trance and she's like completely out of it, she sees the plane crash site. But this time she sees that evil spirit that's in the woods, like in human form with horns on it. And then she wakes up and she pretty much tells Travis, because of course the ambulance came to give her whatever that shot is to get people out of their OD situation. I don't know what it's called. Y'all can tell me in the comments. But she wakes up and she tells Travis that she felt it and we brought it back with us, and that there was something out there with them or in them, and it's still in them. And that's what she was right about. So she tells Lottie this also. So at this point, that's what Travis was saying about Natalie, and that she was right. She was right because these dark spirits are in them. And I guess that's what Travis was trying to run away from, and why he was so scared, because it was in him also. So Natalie at that point, lays in Lottie's lap, and Lottie, you can tell, is scared and is freaked out, but then she turns around and she sees the shadow of that dark spirit in human form with horns. And it looked like it was a shadow, like she was looking at her own damn shadow. I'm telling you, that dark spirit is Lottie. She is the host for that dark spirit. It's something about Lottie, and I think they're all coming together in the next episode, and they kind of understand that she is the center of all of this. So next we see Misty trying to join the cult. So of course, she's trying to work her magic. And then Shauna and Ty find their way back to the cabin through the windstorm. And at that point, Shauna feels another contraction, and then the episode goes off. Yeah, this episode was much better than the last episode, but I really am curious on what next week is going to be, because all of the girls, Van, Shauna, Misty, Ty, Natalie, all the adult girls get together and they look like they're staring at Lottie like they're ready to kick her ass. I don't know, but I'm curious to know what's going to happen. But anywho, what did you think about this episode? Like, share, and subscribe. I'm sorry, I've been talking too long. This is a long video, but like, share, and subscribe. Give me your views on it, and I will see you on my next video. Peace.